Gentlemen, in terms of inclusions, either you able to declare anything?
I think Adam's already declared.
I think Barras will probably play. We've got to train today, though, so I think if we get through training, he's available. So and McGovern will play as well, back from suspension. So they're the two guys I think that will come back.
Also, it's pretty forthright. Anything from you?
Yeah, no, love it. Yeah, not giving you nothing. We're going to same our training session today, and we've spoken about already if both get through. I think if Rory gets through, he'll definitely play because he's been seasoned and playing. He's been really important to us. And then if Aaron gets through, well, then we'll sit down and have a serious consideration. But it's been a long time out of it. He's saying that he's done a mountain of work. So, and Sean Darcy has been really courageous as a young ruckman and, a lone hand, so to speak. So, a bit of thought and decision. We'll get to match committee finalise things. We've had a bit of a look, obviously, assess conditions and take it from there.
Can you play all three of those together?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Is it because Rory can play predominantly forward and fill that sort of Hogan role maybe, and then you can have the two ruckmen separately?
Yeah, no, there's Alistair Clarkson's just was quoted on the Eagles because Kennedy and Darling are so dominant and they play the ruck that the ability to bring the ball to ground and then their smalls, Rioli and Cripps, like Cripps' goal last week, is really critical. So the same applies to us. A great roll-off defence with McGovern and Barras in particular, and the others. So teams, need to bring the ball to ground when you go in. They're great roll-off defence. So certainly the three tools could help with that. Yeah.
Sandy hasn't played in over a year, Ross. What's reasonable to expect if he does get up?
Yeah, well, just get your hand to the ball's a nice starting point. We've seen how important that is. Gawn in particular, when they're really pushing it around to advantage side of mids and a super midfield that it is, it's challenging. We've got a really strong midfield. We think it's been the backbone of our team. And typically games are won and lost in there. And we've got full availability. And the only missing link has been, the only real difference has been the hand to the ball or a predictable area. So that would be important for us, particularly against the quality we're coming up against.
Simo, if you see Sandlands on the team sheet this afternoon, does that change much about what you have to do planning-wise, or because he's been out of the game, does it change that? How do you prepare for him?
We'll obviously wait till selection. I think we know what he provides, so we need to adapt. Obviously, if Lob plays as well and Darcy, they're all three different types of ruckman that can go through there. It has been a major strength of Fremantle's this year, in particular, getting the full complement of mids available. Fife back in the side. We haven't played against him for the last two derbies. Walter's in really good touch, and Mundy back to career best form. So, the ruck battle will be important. So we'll, we're going to still work through what we're going to do with Nick, and obviously Hickey's form on the weekend was pretty good. We've also got Oscar Allen as well that we're trying to work through, and how we keep him in the side as well with those two bigs coming back. So, some things we need to work through as well.
Because of how much of an impact Fife does have, can you even take a look at those last two derbies that he didn't play in? Because he's going to change things so much for what they do and what you can do.
Oh, no, you still look last time you played, or we do anyway. More importantly, the last 3 or 4 weeks we'll look at and what they delivered and how they've gone about it. I mean, looking at the two sides, we win with almost the last kick of the day, and they lose last kick of the day. It'd be a different story had they gone the other way. So we see it as a really even battle.
We've seen Yo go to Fife in the past with pretty good success. Do you think that'll probably be a similar matchup this game?
It's at stages they've played on each other. So whether it's a good matchup or not, they're both big, tall, strong, powerful players. Both A-grade players, and Fife's probably just done it for a fair bit longer than Elliott. So he's still paving his way as a midfielder. It's his second year in the midfield. He was All-Australian half-back a couple of years ago. So that might happen at stages. But we've rotated pretty well through the midfield this year.
Just on Oscar Allen, you mentioned, are you worried that 2 genuine ruckmen plus 3 tall forwards is just too big?
There's always that risk, and the weather as well may play a part. But we've done it before with success. Like I said last week, we haven't quite settled on how it's going to look with Nick in the side. ideally it's a forward ruck that complements Nick's output. Hickey's been going really well with his own ruck craft. I think he had 6 or 7 clearances last week, and he gets the ball as well. So he's holding up his end of the bargain. It's how you go about when they're not in the ruck, what you do with them when they're up forward. So, but we've dealt with that before, and we'll do it again this week.
Is rucking nearly half the game too much for Australia to do?
Well, that's what we've got to explore. I think we need to find out one day what he can do. But he's 20. He's played 14 games, and he's 191 centimetres. So to get him to ruck 50 minutes is a challenge. But if anyone can do it, he probably could at the moment. He's in that career best form. He's played 13 games, but he's the type of player that will do whatever it takes for the side.
And just in terms of replacing Hutchings, is that a like-for-like situation, or where are you at there?
Not necessarily. We'll have a match committee this afternoon, and we'll find out what we need, what the team needs, how we fit possibly McGovern and Barras back in the side, and what we need to do if we have to run with someone.
Because of you've got a lot of quality tools too coming back, and you talked about Allen, but in the conditions and matchups, you might want a smaller team. This is a tough selection.
Yeah, we've gone through that a little bit this year. We've been a little bit unsettled with our tools, but I think every club has their issues with tools. One thing that we've got is we've got good quality players that are assets to our side. So how do we fit it in? How does our system work around playing it slightly taller? We have done it a lot in the last 3 or 4 years. So way back, even with Cal Sinclair and Cox and Nat Nui. So we've worked through it before. For pretty good results, so we'll explore that this week.
How did Nick pull up from that first game?
Good. Yep. He'll train fully today. We'll manage him this year. We'll probably need a week off at some stage, but we'll go through the same process as last year. So he's pulled up well, and he's ready to go.
Ross, what's been the feedback in the wake of the loss to Carlton, just from the player group and things like that in the review?
Yeah, we're in a winning position if you exclude everything else. So there's a couple of just starting points and exits that you'd like to control better. But our year is what I said in the press conference. We're not machines. People upper echelons of the ladder have had big blowout games. We haven't had that. Our biggest loss is 26 points. We've been in every game. Could have easily had a couple more, but we haven't. So we feel like we've grown and improved. It's just about an opportunity to improve and keep believing in ourselves, and reviewed it and got rid of it. Not even really, unless you brought it up, wouldn't even been thinking about the Carlton game. So we haven't got that luxury to keep looking back. Look forward, prepare for the reigning premier. They found a way to win 7 out of 8, and as I said, they're not at the top of their game, but it's certainly there when they need it. And this could be the week where the whole 4 quarters come, so we're preparing for the very best. But ultimately, to write your own story, you just got to play good footy. We've written our own story for the bulk of the year. It's been positive. We're growing. Had some availability challenges, but we seem to be stepping up. And it's great to have our captain in the Derby. Yo has gone to him the last few times and done quite well. So I'm sure Nathan's keen to handle that aspect coming at him, and it's a home derby, the RAC Derby, the 50th Derby, so it's significant as a club that we want to play well in front of our home fans and members and corporate partners.
How big a boost is it to have 5 into this derby?
Yeah, well, you want your best. I coach better when I got good players, so he makes me a better coach, so I like that. That's good.
Adam, you always previously said he loves the battle of these big name players. Does he come to you? Yeah, he said to me. So he loves the competitiveness. Would he come to you during the week and saying, I want to fight for anything like that?
Oh, he might. Yeah, he hasn't yet. Look, I think a lot of our players like the big stage, and that's what you want. You want consistency in performance, but you like players that step up on big occasions. So. Yeah, look, there's been some big moments in the last couple of years where he has stood up for us, and I'm not expecting anything different from him this week.
Have either of you talked about the record this week with the club at all, the 9 in a row, potentially for your group to do something special with derbies, Adam?
What do you reckon? No, I haven't spoken about it with our players. I think this is the only record I'm aware of because everyone tells me. So this is obviously we've had a good run. but that doesn't mean anything. You know, we got over the line by I think 10 or 13 points last time we played. Both teams are pretty even. When you look at the numbers, there's not many stats we're in front of Fremantle at the moment, but we still think our best is as good as anyone. So we plan on playing at our best.
Does he use that as motivation, Ross, at all, or is it an issue?
No one likes losing at anything. I play with a 10-year-old son. I want to beat him at marbles, so let alone a derby. So they're competitive beasts, and you can't sneak around in league footy. If you want to play finals, this game counts, and you need to win. So, but you got on the other side of the ledge, you got the reigning premier sitting in front of you. So, it's certainly. We're as keen to win as ever. The past counts for nothing, so it doesn't dictate future performance, So we're possibility mindset, anything's possible, but you've got to back it up with action, and for the most part we've been doing that. So we have some real belief in ourselves, but no one's got more belief in the competition than the Eagles at the minute. So it's going to, both all things being equal, it should be a great contest. But, the past doesn't count. It's only the next moment that counts.
Ross Hayden Valentine, is he in the frame?
No, he's unlikely. It's difficult. I wouldn't have even spoken to Hayden. He'd be hopeful, but, he'd be in that 26, 27, 28 players that we're looking at. So he's 2 back from a hamstring. He's been a great warrior for us and still is. He's a great leader around the place and brings plenty of energy. So I'd like to talk to him first, but he knows probably on performance and just coming back with 2 games that it's unlikely, but anything can happen in the last session. And anything can happen in the season on availability. So it changes on the flip of a dime, and we've seen that with Hogan, Lobb and Pearce. You blink and you think you're travelling, and then all of a sudden you're in a bit of a pothole and you've got to claw your way out. So that's why we'll just focus on the next session and count everything up then.
Simo, you've spoken about Derby Week in the past and how you've handled it differently at times. How do you handle it now?
That's a good question. I know when I first started, just trying to get a read on how to prepare the players, I was a little bit unsure. So I dare say I went overs in terms of trying to build it up for what it was. I think our record was pretty poor at the time, and I probably didn't handle it. I was a first-year coach and tried a few things that just didn't work. So very routine based now. We've got a system in place with our week, and there's a few things that happen differently throughout the week with me personally, but with the players, I think it's a pretty consistent build-up. So we present and prepare the same way now, and we obviously address the fact that we're going to be playing in front of a hostile crowd and at home. But other than that, it's business as usual, really.
The players get a bit of banter during the week from fans and family members and things like that. What about as a coach? Do you get any of that at all?
Trying to control your kids a little bit would be the priority, I suppose, at home. But they ride the waves. I think my son asked me a couple of years ago if I was going to retire. I think he meant was I going to get the arse. So those things, they come and go. But the rivalry, it's great. It's great for the state and it's great for WA. And I think we enjoy playing the games. And like I said, unique part about it is you're playing at your home ground in front of 50,000 people that don't like you.
And Ross, what about for you? How do you handle Derby Week now and the banter and...
I started a thread on WhatsApp with Adam. Other than that, I try and keep it routine. I think the kids copped a bit at school on the Monday after the losses over in that triangle in the west. Pretty normal. But, it's important for our club. At all times we're representing our club and we want to make our members and our corporate partners proud and our football administration and ultimately you're judged by your performance on the field, and there's no hiding from that fact. But I think we're as well as prepared as we've been for a long time.
So have the kids spoken to you about that streak, saying, come on Dad, what's going on here?
Well, my daughter wants to finish her schooling in Perth at PLC, so she said you need to coach better. So I've sort of taken that on board over the summer and turned things around a little bit. So she said you need to keep it going, Dad.
Well, this will be the first time Andrew Gaff has played in front of your crowd since what happened last year. What sort of reception do you think he'll get?
I can't read people's minds. Life's just full of moments, and I had the pleasure of Andrew Graff in international rules, and he's a great player and a great person. So, as is Andy Brayshaw, and they're both writing their own story. So, there's no real comment on it, you know, except to say he's had 10 million great moments, and he's had a moment he maybe could have handled better, but we've all moved on. So, I'm not interested in regurgitating it, and I just want our members to be passionate about our club and our performance. So other than that, I've got no real comment.
Is that an issue for you, Adam, and your boys in terms of supporting him or anything through the game? Or?
Oh, I think Ross answered that well. Yeah, we're anticipating a hostile environment from a crowd point of view, but that's no different. So, yeah, this is probably the last chapter in the story, isn't it? That we get through this game and we move on.
Ross, will you try and adopt us this week?
No, we did discuss it. No, we've had some challenges. As I said, our luck was holding out. Now it's shifted and it's gone the other way. So we're trying to control the variables. And Lloyd Meek for us has gone down with a fifth metatarsal fracture, so another big guy. It has to be more. There's lots of threads that we're going to really drive into, so it's concerning. And but we're really cautious, so yeah, we'll stay away.
Does that mean you won't train here for the rest
No,
of the
that's just for this week. No, I was keen to get back, to be honest, and then that just spooked us a little bit. In saying that, Lloyd hasn't been here that much, so we'd love to get on and train here, but the reality is it is a harder surface than you'd like, and then we're just dealing with it.
What's the outlook for Meg? How long is that likely to be?
That's the year. Yeah, that's the year. Unfortunately for him, he was really coming on, but he's a young ruckman and he'll come again.
Ross, can you just clarify the situation with Harley? Is he still around the club? There's a few.
Yeah, he was there yesterday.
Yeah.
Going to have dinner with him next week. Yeah, so he was getting physio up at Cottesloe next to the Indiana Tea House. So, yeah, he was pretty happy, as he can be. Yeah, he's settled and we're all devastated for him, but he's a young man. I believe he's still got AFL footy in him if he can get his body right. Unfortunately, with us and all the threads, we haven't been able to get it right. So if he can get it right, he's still a top flight AFL. We saw what he did at half rat power in the waffle. Unbelievable, you know. So if he can get to full fitness, you know, and someone, you know, it's unlikely he'd be with us next year. I think Harley knows that. But we're going to rehab him and we'll work through with his management. Cole Young, who's really taken care of him. And hopefully someone out there who's got a solution, or a club or a guru out there can get him right, because he's a pretty special talent, and it's devastating that he's lost to the game, to be honest.
Do you just feel like as a club you've exhausted every avenue you can with him?
Yeah, and Harley has. You know, we can't speak highly enough of what he's been through and how he's held himself together and how he trains. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. So. But, you know, it is what it is, and we're a professional sporting club and we need to focus on what's available and get it done. Thanks.
Let's talk about the summit earlier. Can we say that this is it now?
Can I just clarify that? I misread the email. It was just a meeting and it wasn't a summit, so... Yeah.
Talk it up.